Hello, my beautiful people. Today, y'all, I'm going to be sharing my story with you guys. This is me being as raw and honest and vulnerable as I can be. Part of me making this page was to be able to share my experiences with you guys. I never want, like, if I could just help one person with my story, that would be like, a blessing. I just don't want anyone to feel alone, so I share the things that I go through in hopes that it helps anyone. So recently I have experienced like physical abuse by my mom, and it's like actually even weird doing this video or talking about it, because a lot of the time, especially in black communities and households, it's like, what goes on in this house stays in this house type deal. But since I've been on this spiritual journey, like, I don't align with that. I don't align with keeping secrets and keeping abuse inside, when it needs to be spoken about and talked about. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit what I've been going through. So let's see. I've almost been in California for a year. Previously, I lived in New Orleans. And before I came out to California, because I'm always leaving California. I'm always leaving California because ever since I can remember, I just never felt supported in California. I didn't feel liked very much by family and stuff like that, and I had very few friends, so I always just wanted to go somewhere else and like start new. I feel like, how many times have I left California? 2 or 3 times. And to find myself back. So yeah, before I came out to California this time, I was really scared because I didn't know what to expect, and I voiced my concerns with my mom and also like my sisters at the time, like, and one of my sisters, who's gifted like me, she was like reading me, and she was like, I could tell that you're very, that you feel like you're very scared to come out here. She was like, you feel very like unsupported, and we had like a whole crying session over it. So there was like some hesitation to come out here, but I felt like I was like reassured by the people, like my parents and my sisters, that this was a good idea, this was a good thing to do. I could start anew. So when I came out here, I probably stayed 2 months with my sister, and then I went to stay with my mom. When I first got there, within that first week, I knew to make a contract. I wrote up a contract, and it was like, Lisa's gonna stay here for only 1 year. She's gonna pay such and such. She'll take care of her own food and blah blah blah. So we all signed the contract, so everybody know what the deal is while I'm here. Yeah, so my plan while I was given this opportunity was to take this year to find a job that I felt that was suitable, that I felt that was a job that poured into me. Okay, I wanted to find something that would pour into me, and I didn't want to go work or any place where I felt drained and I felt like it just took more from me. Like, I don't care what you paying. That's how I feel. Like, it's like I just wanted to find me something that could also go with me working as an entrepreneur, having my own business and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna take this year to find me something, and to find me something that's gonna pay me well, to where, you know, like, I'm not getting paid just anything. I deserve to get paid what I want to get paid, you know, while also working on my passion, which is these readings and a lot of stuff, actually. Readings, you know, working with crystals. I love making jewelry. I love cooking. Like, there's so much I do in the kitchen as far as just like cooking and creating. Like, I love stuff like that. There's so many things I look forward to creating. So yeah, I just wanted to take this time that I had with my parents and make good use of it. Well, their idea of maybe me making good use of it was to maybe get a job at Amazon. Granted, I never asked them for anything. I paid my rent. I paid all my bills by myself, you know, but still their plans for me was different than my plans, you know. And I saw that early on, but yeah, I came down here with, you know, sometimes you think, oh, since this is your mom, this is your dad, I guess I expected them to be a mom and a dad, it's really my stepdad, but I didn't receive that upon getting out here. So I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of context, backstory, what's been going on. Within the first couple of months of staying with my mom, I realized that I could not have a deeper relationship or connection with her. And I told her, like, look, I don't believe that me and you can really move forward as far as our relationship was until counseling is involved. Because there was too many times she was like calling me out my name and just doing really mean things to me and mistreating me, and it just didn't, and I just kept accepting it because I was like, that's my mom, you know what I'm trying to say? But at some point I was just like, no, I'm not gonna accept any type of abuse, even if you are my mom. But I didn't say that to her. I was just like, I think counseling needs to be had, you know, before we can go deeper. It doesn't mean I wasn't gonna, like, I respected my mom and you know, I gave her nothing but respect. But was there maybe affection? No, because there wasn't emotional safety. I was, you know, she called me stuff like a weirdo, and, you know, and mocked me whenever she wanted to argue and I decided to take a break and walk outside. You know, I would get talked about. Miss Know-It-All, Miss Perfect, Miss Think She's Right, you know, like all these, like, I'm not gonna be all up in your face hugging you and stuff like that if you're saying these things about me, you know. And I was really conflicted because I'm like, she is my mom, but then she's just, some of the treatment is just not the best. So at some point I just was like, I'm about to just take any job, you know. So I started applying for what I knew I could get, like healthcare jobs, because that's what I've had in the past. I knew I could get a healthcare job, and it's paying way more than Amazon. But y'all, when I tell you I've been applying and I ain't been getting not a nothing, a call or nothing back, that blows my mind. Like, blows my mind, because that's never happened to me before. Like, normally when I want a job, I get it. Like, all past jobs I wanted, I got them. So that's still blowing my mind. I don't know. I feel like it's not meant to be. That's neither here nor there. My mom also, upon moving down here, we've had some hard conversations. So I thought that she was growing and evolving. But when I got down here, there was drinking every day. I did not know that. And yes. Now, I could have held a lot of stuff from my mom's past against her, but I didn't. Like, I came with this hoping, like, you know, that we could help each other, be there for each other, and I started it out like that. But over time, it's just like the physical abuse and just the nastiness, you know, I even remember one time I had a place to go. I wanted to go to my cousin's party, And I walk out to my car, and my starter is, no, it was my alternator. My alternator is gone. And literally, I called my cousin. I'm in tears. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And I went in. It was like an all-white party, so I made sure, like, I went and bought all-white dress and shoes and everything. Like, I was excited. And she was like, ask your mom if you can use her car. And my mom was at work, and using my stepdad's car. And I was like, she was like, tell her I asked, So I called my mom, and I'm like, hey mom, do you think I can just use your car just to make it? It was like a 40-minute ride to where I need to go. Then I was going to catch a ride with somebody else to go to the party. Like, hey, can I use your car? I could catch a ride with my other cousin. She pretty much tells me no. Okay, that really hurt me. But I'm like, okay, cool. But literally like 2 days next, or like a day later, she's asking me if I can drive her to go to the weed store. And I'm like, how am I gonna drive you? I don't have no car. She's like, she wants me to use her car. But when she told me no, when she told me I couldn't use her car before, she said the day before, her and my stepdad had said how they weren't going to let anyone use their car. So I was like, okay, but literally a day later. So it was like cool for me to use her car to take her where she needed to go. I just couldn't use her car to go where I needed to go. And apparently now she's even letting some of the other kids, well, actually now everyone drives their cars. Like, that rule didn't stand. That's what I'm trying to say. That rule didn't stand. And it was like stuff like that was happening. And I just was like, okay, it's best that I pull my energy back. I be respectful. I do what I need to do. But I'm not going to be giving more, because it's leaving me hurt. And it left me crying a lot. Here comes the 4th of July. My lease with my parents ends in October, and I've already been kind of like trying to figure out some things, what I was going to do. Well, here comes 4th of July. We go out and have a great day at the park, me, my family, my step siblings and stuff like that. We barbecue. It was like a really good day. When we get back home, my mom starts to drink, and she gets on the phone with one of my sisters. Now, I didn't know where this was going to go, but my soul said, you should probably record everything that's happening. And so I did. I started recording everything that happened, from her being on the phone with one of my sisters to her getting off the phone. And as soon as her getting off the phone, she goes straight in at me, just like, you need to find you somebody to take care of you. You need to find you someplace where you don't. She just is like going in on me, and I'm not saying nothing. Like I said, I have all the recordings, because I felt like nobody would believe me either. So I recorded everything, and she's just going in, talking about me so bad. And when she's done, she pretty much tells me, like, I need to find a place to go. And I said, okay, well, and I'm talking calm like this, mind you. I was like, do you want me gone? She was like, if I tell you I need you gone by tomorrow, are you gonna go? And I was just like, yeah, if that's what you want. My stepdad comes in, and my stepdad's like, kind of like, what's going on? And by this time, I called one of my other sisters, and I'm like, I think your mom's like trying to kick me out. And she goes on to be like, I'm not trying to kick you out. You are, you just want to be able to tell people that. And I'm like, no, I don't want to tell nobody that. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. So I tell her and my stepdad, I'm like, look, I'm about to leave the house for a little bit and let things calm down. So I go and I sit in my car. I talk to my sister. And what's crazy is that whole time I'm so calm. I'm not crying. I'm talking just as I'm talking to y'all. But when I go out in my car, my body starts to like hyperventilate. And it was like, I couldn't catch my breath. Like, it was the after effects, I think, of all that had happened. And it was just so weird to experience. It's like almost having like an outer body experience, to experience my body like convulsing, like shaking, and not being able to breathe. And I had to like, Lisa, you're safe, and like really calm myself. So I stay in my car for like 2 hours, and I'm hoping like she calms down and she finally goes to sleep, because this is an episode of hers. She has called my phone while I'm sitting in my car and is like, you need to leave. What do I owe you? Get out of my house. And I just don't respond to none of her calls or any of her text messages. I actually fall asleep in my car a little bit, and it's after like 12. So I'm like, oh, I hope, I go into the house. I hope things have calmed down. So I leave my car a little bit after 12 o'clock at nighttime, and I walk in, and she's going on to one of my step siblings about some stuff or whatever. As they get ready to leave, they're like, Lisa, are you still kicked out? And I'm like, I don't know. And then my mom just goes in, and she's like, yeah, she's kicked out. And she's like, she got to go. She starts to drag my stuff out the door eventually, and I'm just like, I'm still just as this calm, y'all, like really calm. I'm like, stop doing, can you stop? I don't know when it started, but my hair is in an afro now. I had like all my hair out, like in a fro, and then she's just grabbing both of my hair with both of her hands. She's like pulling my head left to right. I'm just like trying to grab her hands to stop her from pulling out my hair, and I'm just like, can you please stop? Can you please stop? I'm getting punched in the face, slapped. Eventually I'm like, gotta pull her off of me. We almost go like break the sliding door in my parents' house. And my stepdad, like, he didn't have to pull me off of her, but he had to help my mom, like, because I got up like but she kind of dragged me down into that sliding door, but I got up like, okay, it's enough. My stepdad is trying to tell her like, you need to go lay down, go in the room and lay down. He like telling her like, Lisa ain't going nowhere tonight, you just need to go lay down, tomorrow we'll work this stuff out. No, she continues to go on. She's throwing my stuff outside the door. She's dumping water on my clothes. She's taking stuff out of my purse, throwing it outside the door. I'm just like calmly going to go get my stuff and put it up, and I had to like hide my iPad and my headphones because I didn't want her to, she had put those outside the door, but I didn't want her to break those. And she called the police on me. Thank God nobody came, but she was on the phone with them for like a good 10 minutes, and they knew our address and everything. She fought me like 3 times, like a good 3 times. She had to be pulled up off of me. My sister found her nails in my hair the next day. And honestly, what's so crazy is I was feeling some pain when all this was going on. But, okay, hold on. When I was in my car, I was listening to meditation music. When I got out of my car, I had paused the music, and it so happened to pause on, I think it was 2626. And angel number 2626 talks about inner strength. But also before this incident, I was seeing the eagle spirit too. And so there was things that I knew I felt like something was going to happen, but I didn't know what was going to happen. I was receiving signs, So when I got out of my car and I paused my heart chakra music on 2626, and it talks about inner strength, and then after all of that happens, and I damn near get beat up by my mama, like I was just like, I knew God and my angels was with me. Like I knew I wasn't feeling everything to the effects that I probably could have felt, but I felt it the next day. I felt it the next day. My body felt it. My head felt it. I felt it. And it hurt me, y'all. I cried a lot. I'm surprised I'm not crying now, probably because I cried so much already. It hurt. But that wasn't even the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake is when I went back the next day to get the rest of my stuff out of her house. I apologized. I take that back. I did not apologize because I felt like there was nothing for me to be sorry about. But I told both of them thank you. Thank you for letting me stay here. And for the first time in a long time, my stepdad that I was so close with when I was a teenager, I saw him for the first time that day. And he was just like, maybe counseling does need to be had and we all can sit in the room. And he told me he loved me and stuff like that. And that was the first time, not even since I was staying with them for these past 8 months, that was the first time I saw my stepdad, who he was. Because he used to be my favorite growing up, my favorite. That's the first time I saw him. And I told my mom that she hurt my feelings, that she hurt my soul. She didn't have to put her hands on me. She didn't have to put her hands on me. And in telling her that, I cried. And just to know that she told me she wasn't sorry. And that she don't care, that we don't ever talk again. And yeah, so I'm speaking out because I don't want to keep secrets, and this is a way that I want to validate myself. I want to validate Lisa and little Lisa. And I want her to know that she matters. A lot of times we get told to not say anything. But it's important for you to speak up for yourself and to speak out on things that matter. And this matters. And nothing that has went down was okay. And I have to keep telling myself that it's okay. That's not okay, but that's not my fault. I have to keep telling myself it's not my fault. And I know a lot of times people think I'm naive. Maybe I am naive, but I didn't feel like I was. I felt like I don't know. I've seen people have relationships with their parents, and I just felt like why couldn't that be me? Because I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to do what it takes to sustain a relationship, but there was no compromise here. No accountability wanted to be had between my parents, living with them. And it sucks that it took even this happening for my stepdad to realize damn, Lisa, what you were saying was right. Counseling do need to be had. And I don't want to say excuse, but the kind of thing that my mom told me why she didn't want to do counseling because she didn't have money. But yet, liquor was bought every day. I'm not saying this to throw my mom under the bus or nothing like that, but I just have to tell y'all the context of everything. Tell you the full truth. No half-ass. This is how I felt. And even I was willing to pay for part of the counseling, but I'm definitely gonna need something after this. That's not funny, but I am. For real. So yeah, if you've ever experienced abuse, doesn't have to even be with your parent, could be with anybody. I just want you to know it's never okay. It's never okay. Just because a person has a title don't mean that they deserve to be treated like that title. You know what I'm trying to say? So I say that I say that to say that, yeah, it's okay. So I came out to nature and tell you guys that.
I want to go home and take a nap.
Yo, I gotta laugh. It's not funny. But I will tell you this. After I experienced that, when I tell y'all, like, universe, God, my angels were just showering me with love the very next day and these following days with just so many, like, just beautiful things happening to me. People being extra just kind to me, and just lots of, man, I'm grateful to feel protected even in the midst of such chaos, you know. Some things that I have been doing after this has happened is I looked at some journal prompts for abuse victims, and I've been journaling about it. I also am doing this video. I've been doing some Reiki healing on my body as well, and just trying to give myself time and space to process whatever needs to come up. Yeah. This is probably gonna be just part 1 of part 2, because part 2 I'm gonna probably get off into just, you know, having an emotional unavailable parent. I didn't really know that I had one and what that looks like, you know, and or what that looked like for me, you know. Yeah, there's so many things I'm learning in my 30s, you know, and I'll be going to my 40s soon. So it's just like, wow. Yeah. I don't know. I hope my mind can make peace with this, and I plan on forgiving my mom. Like, my intentions are to forgive her. But there will be no communication or anything like that moving forward. And part of me wants to semi be okay with the abuse to have a relationship, but I just know that shit's not healthy, so I ain't gonna do it. It's just gonna be different moving forward. So yeah. I hope that anybody that watches this video finds strength to tell their story and to speak up and to let your inner child know that they are loved, okay, and cherished, that you're loved and cherished, and that you deserve the best. You know, you deserve people to treat you with honor and respect and love. But yeah, I hope in sharing this, I help one of you guys. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to my story. I have plenty of stories I'm gonna try to put out, but they're kind of deep like this one, so it's probably why it's taking me so long to put it out. But yeah, just sharing my life with you guys. But I love you. Thank you for listening.